Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Perceptions of the Dead. Now, where we last left off, we finished Jill's story, among the 3 stories that we have available here, and, well, her little trip to the hospital that she decided to make for her viewers on her live stream didn't go exactly the way she predicted it would, to put it lightly. In fact, she learned that ghosts and things beyond the veil are indeed real, so her life has undoubtedly been forever changed and is probably going to haunt her for the rest of her life. Sucks to be her. So, we got 2 stories left here, the Phantom Ice Cream Truck and Perceptions of the Dead. So, I'm going to go with the Phantom Ice Cream Truck next and save Perceptions of the Dead for last. Also, before we start the second story, I just want to simply mention that I'm going to keep experimenting with volume levels and gain levels on this new mic of mine here in order to see what I can make that sounds the most natural as far as recordings go. So my apologies if my voice sounding a little inconsistent throughout this series might bother you in some way, but that's just because I'm just trying to figure out what I think would work best here with this new mic of mine. But hopefully these settings that I have it at now sound even better than in the last video. But anyway, that's it really. So let's go get some ice cream. The Phantom Ice Cream Truck. Follow a denizen of the border between life and death as he answers a call to rescue a missing child. And I'm going to assume that this ice cream truck has something to do with the child going missing, yeah? Most likely. Okay, so let's go get some ice cream and a missing child.
A glance around reveals an empty street, and I take a moment of solitude to adjust to my layers. It does little to stave off the biting wind.
I like the sunset in the background.
I clench and unclench my fingers with a deep-rooted ire. I am not being paid well enough for this shit. Then again, I never am. This was the second night since I had started this assignment. The couple had hired me to bring back their son.
Private detective?
They hadn't been so comfortable with the way the official investigation was turning up so very little, and how much the media had begun to spin the tale into a ghost story. The Phantom Ice Cream Truck. What a mouthful. A messy case, too. The police's initial involvement had been straightforward. The first child had fell off the map like the earth had swallowed him whole. Right off the street, according to witnesses. No one saw a thing. No reliable witness heard anything either. No unfamiliar cars or people. No unfamiliar sounds.
Okay, so far this is sounding indeed like your average textbook ghost story so far.
One moment he was in front of his parents' home, the next he was gone. Strange, but there could be plenty explanations for such an incident. Very mundane ones.
Like someone just rolling up in a van, snatching a kid the instant no one was looking, and then just drive right on off. That's the only plausible one I can think of
Such
off the top of my head.
More unlikely when every child in the neighborhood reported hearing ice cream truck music right around the time of the disappearance. Of course, without a single adult able to corroborate this mysterious music, the children's testimony was quickly dismissed.
I wonder why the children are the only ones able to hear it.
Still creepy, right? And oh so mysterious.
No shit, Sherlock.
Even more so when it happened again. It was the third parents who hired me. I never really figured out how my clients find me. It's not like I list my number anywhere or advertise.
I think that's an even bigger mystery than the missing children, if you were to ask me, is how people keep finding you.
But somehow word of mouth leads to my phone ringing, and a familiar phrase to indicate it's for business. Ya, Fatan. I seek a pact with that which should not be.
H.P. Lovecraft?
I know, it's a little trippy. It's from a book I had read back in college.
Call of Cthulhu, I assume.
A friend came up with the joke as his invocation of my aid. He must have used it dozens of times when we were younger, typically for a ride when he had been out drinking. I had become so used to it that when I first answered the phone and heard an unfamiliar voice say the phrase, I just kind of went with it. The next time it was the same. And then it became common.
Okay.
Where are you?
We live in Rosterfield, Maine. I know it's a long way from where I heard about you, but can you help us?
Will you pay the price?
We will pay anything if you can bring back our son.
The deal is struck. And with that, I called in sick to work. Told them I had the flu and would need a few days off. I was given shit about not getting my flu shot, but they didn't hassle me too much. That evening, I was on a plane.
Ghosts on a plane.
I arrived at the house at midnight.
You kind of repeated your line twice.
I did not knock. After all, it was important to keep up appearances. I did. The window to... I did not knock.
Whoa.
After all, it was important to keep up appearances. I didn't knock. After all, it was important to keep up appearances.
Okay, we're getting 2 different lines of dialogue for each line here. I guess they kind of forgot to cut some of these lines out.
The window to the left was latched, but the right slid up easily.
Aw, what? No third time the charm?
I found the boy's room first and gave it a once-over. Legos, Ben 10 toys, and Star Wars paraphernalia littered the floors and walls. A quick once-over revealed nothing useful, though. I sat on the foot of the bed for almost 10 minutes before one of them stirred.
Oh my god!
What is... Ah!
Normal reaction. I turn around slowly.
Okay.
Return for what has been lost. From you, I need 2 items. I need a photo and an article of clothing. Something thick with its smell.
Okay, I'm just trying to picture this scene in my head, and this whole thing just reeks of creep factor. Like, this is the sort of thing that would either get a lamp thrown in at your head, a baseball bat, or a gun pointed at you, and shortly thereafter the cops being called here. I mean, you just show up right smack in the middle of the night in their house, in their bedroom, startle them awake, and then basically ask for an article of clothing of their kid here that is thick with his smell. I mean, like... Okay.
The woman stands up slowly.
Okay,
edging against
I'm just
going
to continue.
Then runs to the child's room. She returns with a dirty soccer jersey and a copy of a Lost flyer.
And you just roll right along with it. Okay.
Father remains paralyzed, his eyes locked with mine. Though likely, he is just staring into the shadow beneath my hood, hoping to see something there, something human. Likely questioning his decision to hire me.
Can you fault him? And what's with your face, madam? It's like you have a long, thick nose and... Are you wearing some kind of mask?
Can you really find him?
I take a long smell of the shirt, then discard it. I take a look at the photo. This time, I spend a lot longer examining it.
You got some impressive buck teeth, kiddo.
I wasn't really some bloodhound. I couldn't track by scent, but the photo helped a lot. Now I knew what he looked like. Yes.
You know, when you're actually speaking, I love how serious you sound compared to your inner dialogue.
She begins to breathe heavily, and then cries.
Maybe it's an act that you put up.
The husband just continues to stare aghast into the hood of my cloak.
Again, I can't really fault the man.
With that, I begin to walk out. Behind me, I hear the father speak.
What did we just send after our son?
That is a good question, dear father.
The first night had been uneventful. I had turned over the results of the police investigation and found myself wanting. Wanting what? Oh, anything resembling a lead.
Oh.
Did these people get paid to do this shit?
Well, apparently.
I certainly didn't buy the superstitious who were already spreading stories about the ghostly ice cream truck.
Then who will you believe?
If a ghost were going to come back, it's very unlikely they would be scooting around in an ice cream truck.
Ghosts don't have to follow the rules. I think they could ride around whatever they damn well please.
Talking to children had been painfully hard. My one fortune was that my attire left me more reminiscent of a Slender Man than a child molester. So the times I was chased away from children I tried to interview were not mistaken for solicitation.
So you dress up as a Slender Man, so you basically run around in a suit with a hood? Okay.
I shuddered violently at the thought. The children provided my first real clue. They described a tune. One that sounded like the type and consistency that an ice cream truck might have. Not that ice cream trucks were common these days. I was a little surprised these kids even knew what one was.
Every now and then I see an ice cream truck pass by my neighborhood. It's kind of a sad sound to me, probably because there's probably hardly anybody stopping by to actually buy anything. Just counting the days when even that ice cream truck will go away.
Some were even able to hum and whistle the tune for me. I wasn't entirely sure how to run with this info. The relevance of a single song really didn't occur to me. A small piece of the rest of the day was spent feeding myself and taking a nap as inconspicuously as possible.
Brilliant detective work.
I had no intention of allowing anyone to see me be anything other than the creepy supernatural and paranormal investigator.
I would hope that you would at the very least want people to see you as something other than creepy.
It's how I've always done things. You'll be surprised how quickly you can build a rep with the right look and behavior.
Oh, I can bet.
After the nap, it was back to beating the streets. And my current predicament. It was friggin' cold! In the near distance, I watched a quartet of kids, roughly 14 or so, playing a ragged game of football. They seemed to be having a great time, but even as far away as I am, their cheers and jeers rattle my nerves. For a moment, I wish they would be quiet. As though hearing my thoughts mid-run, they stop, on cue. They stand up straight and begin to draw heavy, ragged breaths. A girl hugs the football to her chest as her eyes grow ever wider.
What's going on?
I test reality for a moment. I wish I had a few thousand bitcoins.
Well, depends on how much they're currently worth as of you making that comment, huh?
It occurs to me that I should have asked for something more easily checked. At the same time, it occurs to me that I didn't silence those kids.
Took you long enough.
I bite my tongue, close my eyes, and bury the nail of my thumb into the palm of my hand. I dig in as hard as I can, drawing blood as my vision blares with the colors behind my eyelids. And then, I hear it.
Ow!
The song playing on a pair of shitty speakers. The kind you'd hear on top of an old-timey ice cream truck.
Indeed, that does sound like an ice cream truck tune.
My eyes flick open as I scan the horizon.
What is with your vision?
The truck passes me, inches from clipping my shoulder, and heading straight towards the kids.
Get a look at the driver.
No, you fucking don't! I break into a run, and despite the trivial speed of the truck, barely manage to keep up. As the truck closes on the kids, it slows to a stop, and I finally begin to close the gap.
Run on home, you kids.
As the truck closes on the...
Oh.
Run on home, you kids. It's getting dark. This town isn't safe after dark.
Even though this is a clearly shady character with a flickering ice cream truck, I would take his advice and just go on home.
Getting dark? What is he talking about? The sun set hours ago.
Never mind. That is a good point. You should still go home, though.
No sooner had the words crossed my mind when it all went black. For a few moments, I thought I had been knocked unconscious. Then my eyes began to adjust. I make out the faintest impression of light.
Oh no. Oh no. This isn't good. You kids better get in. I'll get you home safe.
And what incentive would they have here in trusting a random stranger with an ice cream truck driving around late at night? Sir?
I watch helplessly, moving through the dark like it was molasses. Shadows pass before the light as he ushers them into the truck.
Well, clearly they have some kind of incentive because they're just going right along with it. All I know is if I would just run straight for the hills if I were in their shoes.
The truck lights blare into brilliance, and I hear the motor roar as the car begins to move forward at a pace more in keeping with a motor vehicle. I would lose it even if I were still able to move. No! No! I let out a choked cry after them.
Well, clearly this ice cream man is getting bolder. He's kidnapping groups of kids at a time now.
Stop! Stop! Then I stop.
Shouldn't have said stop then.
The second cry had no depth to its volume. While the no had echoed normally down the empty street, the scream of stop had sounded like I screamed into the middle of a very crowded room. Slowly I reached behind me, laying hands on one of my pieces of emergency equipment. The kind of stuff you don't use when you want people to think you're some manner of elder horror. I slowly bring it around, just as I feel the breath on my neck. With a whip, I crack the flare. Seeing it burn red hot through my clenched eyes, and I hear the cacophony of screams, I open them. Thousands of twisted, naked heaps of malformed, demi-human flesh writhe in the agony of the light. And as I raise it above my head, the flare burns brighter.
Well, this is pure nightmare fuel. I hope you have sweet dreams tonight, Sir Detective.
The darkness washes away. I wheel around in place, but find myself alone back in the street.
And it's daylight.
In the middle of the day. I drop the flare and try futilely to snuff it out with my boot. My little display has drawn an audience, and not so far down the street, I see my clients. Oh, fuck.
Well, this is gonna undoubtedly not earn you any favors of your clients.
So it's ghosts.
Okay, so your the left side of your face is different. I don't know, maybe it's the lighting or something. I'm not 100% sure.
I merely nod slowly.
But you can still get him back?
I nod again.
But it's been over a week since you started searching. He hasn't eaten anything.
Wow, a week already. Damn. And two, how do you know he hasn't eaten anything?
I still couldn't wrap my mind around how much time had passed in the darkness. He will be fine. Time does not pass normally where he is.
You know where he is?
I nod. I'm going there tonight to get him back. They start crying. I'm not really sure what to do at this point, so I stand there, awkwardly, hoping that my layers give me more of the appearance of stoicism than an awkward penguin. Apparently it works.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I leave the building as they both chant thank you, like it was some kind of prayer. It's not the first time I'd heard that prayer. It's not the first time I had done this.
Do tell. I'm quite interested to know your backstory.
I'm ready this time as night falls. I withdraw a small shot and without hesitation jam it into my arm. Viper venom. I had a friend back home who kept one as a pet. Weird kid. Milks the things. Sells the venom, mostly to medical facilities. Occasionally he sells it to me.
And you're pumping that into your veins. That's viper venom. Viper venom. Are you superhuman?
My knees nearly buckle as the burning begins to creep through my arm.
Because I'm sure that would kill a man.
I stifle a scream.
An ordinary one.
Then I hear it, and everything clicks.
Okay, so, note to self. If you want to see ghostly ice cream trucks, inject viper venom directly into your arm. Teach me more, Mr. Acolyte.
I let out a long sigh and stand up, adjusting my layers. I turn my eyes to fall upon the approaching truck.
So what exactly does this ice cream man want these kids anyway? I still can't I can't figure it out here. I need more information, but if I had to guess, I'd say it would have something to do with collecting their young, innocent souls for something, well, monstrous. Like, I don't know, maybe some kind of eldritch horror from beyond the veil or something like that. Probably not something not like Cthulhu, but something not nasty nonetheless. I'm probably wrong, but, well, we'll see, won't we?
My hand goes behind my back and my fingers close. I train the gun on the truck and unload a triad of shots into the ghost truck's engine. The engine sputters, the grating burns, melting away, and the music screams in protest.
I was just going to say, if that thing wasn't real, then I hope you don't hit somebody or something here that clearly doesn't deserve to get hit.
What do you think you're doing?
Shooting at your ice cream truck.
An escapee from an Andy Warhol painting stutters, stepping awkwardly from the vehicle.
You look like... Never mind. You are now officially scarier than a door-to-door salesman with the flashing face and everything.
It's getting dark. I have to protect the children.
From what?
Only one thing may not exist. You and that which you fear must cease to be.
But the children...
Uh-oh. I hear ominous chanting.
The darkness falls upon me. With such force, I stagger. I lose my grip and the gun disappears, searing into the shifting mass of flesh. My hand goes behind my back, and my grip closes around a rough-hewn blade, forged of obsidian and steel.
Where the hell did you get the blade?
And as I carve outwards, I hear the screams of all the lost children, unwilling to accept their fate, and swallowed by the darkness.
They sound a lot older than children. Just saying.
Flesh tatters as I carve, burning away like paper, until finally, I lay into the man.
No, you don't understand. I was just trying to help.
I bury the blade into his throat.
Okay, so I guess we're going straight to murder.
The cacophony resounds as the children who lost themselves in the darkness writhe, and I go about my work of freeing them all, just as I had freed this man.
My baby. Oh, my baby. It's okay. Everyone's okay.
You know, I really don't think this follows standard operating procedure when it comes to this type of thing. But what do I know? I never done private detective work, nor have I done anything involving exorcisms. Still, a black obsidian blade is a new one on me, as far as the latter thing is concerned.
No, not everyone. They're all dead. Everyone. Everyone died.
You seem relatively unfazed, I guess, by all the horrors you probably witnessed.
7 kids lost here. And I got back all of them. I wonder how many I actually freed. How many had he trapped in his nightmare? And what the hell was he so afraid of in that darkness? And most importantly, why did he ultimately abandon them to it?
Good questions.
I don't know how to thank you. After a week of not hearing from you, I'd feared for the worst. A month after that, and I'd come to accept that it was over. I was ready to move on.
Time passes by really fast.
His eyes fall to his wife, still babying the boy, who won't stop staring off into the distance.
She had faith, though. She said that you were an angel, or maybe a demon. She didn't care. She believed in you. Some nights after she had said her Hail Marys, I would see her put her hands together, and I would hear her. She prayed to you.
I was almost flattered, but to tell the truth, the idea of someone believing so much in me, in praying to me, it was terrifying.
I want you to know, I'm willing to pay more than whatever your normal fee is. We've been living with a tight belt since I called you, and I won't lie and say I don't do well for myself. I have more than enough saved up to pay you anything we could ask. Or, if there's something else you want, There's nothing I can offer you that means more to me than my son.
I let out a long sigh.
And this is the part where you say you don't need any payment or anything, right?
I reach up to my hood and pull it back. Both of them gasp, stepping back and then cocking eyebrows in unison, having perhaps expected something more. After having been gone for 2 months, I could really use a job.
Okay, so now it's been 2 months. Okay, we're already over with this story. So, okay, there was no choices to be had this time around, and I ultimately think that I've been left with more questions than answers as to what exactly was going on here. It also ended up being a lot shorter than I expected. I kind of figured that maybe the second story would have been a similar length to the first one. So maybe... Yeah, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and maybe do Perceptions of the Dead here as well. I mean, why not? I mean, it hasn't even... It's only been 25 minutes since I started recording here. I don't want it to be that short an episode. So, let's start our last story then. Perceptions of the Dead. Tyrone has made it his business to help solve the troubles of those afflicted by the undead. But what seems like a case of a benign haunting may find him risking more than his life, but his very soul. Yeah, I was really hoping to get at least a few questions revolving around the phantom ice cream truck and the ice cream man himself solved or at least explained to me. I mean, I don't need to have every single little thing explained to me, but just enough to where I could understand the gist of what was going on. But yeah, it I mean, it's okay. It is an okay story, but I definitely like the first one more. So, yeah. So, our number 3 story. I wonder where I'm going to rank you among all three of you. My gut instinct tells me it's going to be my second favorite.
I'll be the first to admit, there's something a little sad about watching a pirated copy of the original Star Wars trilogy.
A pirate, eh?
It's been out for as long as I've been alive. You'd think I'd own a legal copy by now.
Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
But really, where can you find a legal copy nowadays where Greedo shoots first?
Okay, that's actually a very good point. You can pirate that copy, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, fun fact for those of you who may be into Star Wars that might be watching this video. There's a few scenes in the original cuts of the original Star Wars movies, like for New Hope, for example, that played out differently compared to later re-releases and special editions of the same movie. Some scenes were either cut altogether, or they were shot and edited in a different way to where scenes played out a bit differently from how they played in the original cuts of the movie. In the case of Han Solo with that bounty hunter, back when he and Luke and Obi-Wan were meeting for the first time, in the original cut of A New Hope, Han Solo shot the bounty hunter first rather than the other way around. But later editions of the movie had shot and edited it to where it looked like as though the bounty hunter shot him first, rather than the other way around as it was originally presented. And I guess probably to present Han Solo in a more positive light would be my guess. But yeah, in the original cut, Han Solo shot first. And that version of the film has never really been re-released to any capacity as far as I'm aware. Save for maybe one time on VHS. So, yeah. Good luck finding... basically, good luck finding a legal copy of that version of Star Wars A New Hope. Because, well, it doesn't exist. Or at least one in a modern format.
I have the volume way down so I can hear the rest of the house easily. The crunching of the chip is almost loud enough to drown out Han's rant about the Falcon's speed. My eyes dart up to the girl on the ceiling.
Oh, hello. Who are you?
She's still staring, wide-eyed, her pupils dilated, and her claws clicking rhythmically at her sides while she sits watching me.
Are you a fan of Star Wars too?
I pull out my phone and snap another picture of her, checking to make sure the screen stays empty. It does, and I slide the device back into my pocket.
You know what these snipping sounds remind me of? The kind of scissors that you would hear at a barber shop, where if you were getting your hair cut or something. That's exactly what they sound like to me.
The owners of the house had been right. They had a ghost, but it was a harmless haunt, incapable of manifestation. The creepiest thing she had done was stand at the end of the hallway and watch me watch TV with their amazing sound system. She clicks at me and I hush her, as though it wasn't already hard enough to hear. She doesn't respond, and I regret not downloading a version with subtitles. I've been here for almost a week. So far, only Little Miss Claus has shown up, and it hadn't been hard to identify her.
So, what is your story, Miss Claus? Were you, strangled to death? Drowned in the bathtub? Maybe OD'd on something?
She's the ghost of a girl who had suffered from an acute case of depression and took her own life.
Well, at least I was right about the suicide aspect.
Apparently, she did the deed with a pair of scissors, which explains the increasingly annoying clicking scissor claws.
Yeah, I guess that would explain it.
Her family had sold the house after the loss of their only daughter. It eventually ended up in the hands of the current owners, the ones who had hired me. Their descriptions of the haunt had pretty much been a dead ringer of the girl. They had, of course, complained of cold spots and objects disappearing and reappearing elsewhere, but odds were high that they were misplacing their own stuff and giving themselves the chills. Same way any scary movie can. For the chills, I mean. Good old-fashioned forgetfulness explains the moving stuff. The girl keeps at her clicking. Her bloodied claws are writhing as she stares, sitting on the ceiling as though she had chosen to break a few laws, starting with gravity.
Okay, so we got some actual choices again. So, I'm going to assume then that this story might actually have an alternate ending. I will go ahead and save here, though. I'm going to try talking to the ghost. So, now my first question to you is, do you like Star Wars?
Answer me a question, Ghost Girl. Why does everyone who's dead seem to have black hair? I mean, really? Do gingers actually lack a soul or something?
That's actually a good question, now that I think about it.
Before she has a chance to answer my question, a knock comes from the door.
Now that I think about it, a lot of dead people I do see in movies and all that do have black hair.
I swear to... Someone called the cops on me again. I'm gonna give them a goddamn reason to. I'm not an effing squatter. I was hired to be here. I free myself from the ensnarement of the amazing plush furniture and trudge to the door, muttering nonsense the whole way. Throwing it open, I find someone new.
You're still here.
Okay, who are you?
Yes, I am. I'm still working. Well, not right now, actually. I'm taking a break while some things are settling. And, you are?
You know, most of the other neighbors think you're a squatter.
I grimace. Yeah, I know. I've had to talk to the police twice already.
What are you even working on? I thought that they were done with renovations months ago.
Those buck teeth tell me I should probably lie. That I shouldn't trust you with the truth. So I'm probably going to trust you with the truth anyway, because why the hell not?
Yeah, like I'd do something as psycho as that. The owners reported some odd noises. Creaking, groaning, rattling. The kind of noises you don't want to be hearing in a newly renovated home. The thing is, their contractors haven't been able to identify the source or even replicate the issue when on site.
I see your arm is kind of clipped off here.
I do construction. I'm in between jobs right now, so they're hiring me to stay here until the issue occurs and use my expertise to identify and resolve the problem.
Unless this is like the entryway to the house, the arch for the door and all that, in which case, well, okay, that makes sense. But still, it just looks like with how it matches with the background, just blends in. It's like his arm is like literally sinking into the void.
That sounded pretty believable, not to mention oddly close to the truth. It'd have been enough for the police both times before, after all. Well, that and a Skype chat with the actual owners.
That makes sense. So, what, you're sleeping on the floor waiting for the noises they were reporting?
I don't have to sleep on the floor, considering it's fully furnished.
You don't think it could be the ghost that's rumored to haunt this place?
I force a snicker, and she immediately flushes. Yeah, I'm not the superstitious type. Everyone knows ghosts aren't real. Everyone was wrong, of course. But I wasn't going to admit that right now.
Look, I didn't...
Though if it's a long-standing rumor, it might have been something to do with the foundation. Do you know how long this building's been haunted? She flushed further and bit her lip. What was she doing here? An amateur hour ghost hunter, maybe?
I don't know. At least 10 years. That's when my family first moved in over there.
She points to what was, more or less, a mansion across the street and a few houses down. Not that any of the other houses were less impressive. This was kind of a high-end neighborhood, which was a large part of the reason I had met law enforcement twice already. I suppose I'll have to go back at it again with my level. See if I can find anywhere that may hide a seam in the foundation.
Do you need help?
Okay, seriously, what was her deal? No, I've got it just fine.
Oh, okay. Well, it was nice to meet you.
You too, kid. She stands there watching with the eyes of a puppy as I close the door on her.
What do you want, woman?
I look back to the clicking ghost on the ceiling and realize that I got more heebie-jeebies from talking to that girl than I did watching movies with a ghost hanging above my head.
That, I think you kind of got it backwards here. I would personally be a lot more creeped out here with the ghost because, well, who knows why she's haunting that part of the ceiling right now. For all we know, it could be a foretelling of an even greater danger coming your way. I'm paranoid like that.
I nearly jump out of my skin as my phone goes off. The ringtone clearly indicates it's to my work number.
So, lady, are you going to answer his question about why all dead people's hair is black?
Looks like I have another job after this one, Snippy. She clicks the same as she had before, unresponsive to my attempts to converse with her. Which is a good thing. I mean, she's a passive hunt. No need to gank her. She'll fade naturally. I answer my phone and wait for the words. There's a moment of silence.
Is this the boy in the Dylan's house?
Huh?
I recognize the voice immediately. I hang up. Her knock follows not a moment after.
Okay, so you have... This place is... Wait a minute.
There's a moment. I answer my phone, which is a...
Oh, wait, so how did you get his phone number?
I heard your phone ring. You answered at exactly the same time.
Lady, again, I ask, what do you want?
Maybe she had gotten my number somewhere, caller ID or something in the house. Maybe she didn't realize the significance.
Okay, so let's say that she got your caller ID or something in the house. How did she get in the house? And where did she know specifically to look in order to get your ID?
How did you get my number?
Wow, way to maintain an air of mystery.
Answer the question.
Huh?
Aren't you supposed to have some line like La La Fatagan or something?
Please?
No, the caller is supposed to say that. Fuck. Did I just say that?
Oh. Oh.
An awkward pause hung itself, much like I was thinking about doing.
Can I come in? It feels odd to talk about this kind of stuff on the other side of the door when you're right there.
Why are you so damn insistent on interfering with my work?
I grimace and let her in. How did you get my number?
I read about it on 4chan. I wasn't sure it was you until just now, though. I had my suspicions from the moment you arrived.
4chan? Well, I guess there could be weirder places you could find out about a ghost hunter or something, or a paranormal detective.
Someone posted my number on 4chan?
Well, like I just said, there could be a lot weirder places somebody could post your number on.
You're nothing like I imagined from the urban legends, though.
What, were you not expecting a black guy?
Well, I was expecting someone tall and dark, so I suppose I was right in a sense.
Oh, that's brave. A race joke.
Why are you making it about that?
Because I'm hoping it makes you feel uncomfortable and you'll leave.
Well, I guess that is a very effective tool you can use to make someone uncomfortable and leave.
So, is it true? Is anything here?
I almost turned to check on the girl in the ceiling, but maintained my gaze. Nothing that the tenants have to worry about, it would seem.
That's an evasive answer.
Well, you're not exactly entitled to a straightforward one.
Will you leave if I give you some information?
Don't play her game.
Yes. Well, maybe. It depends on what you tell me.
Okay, here's what I'll tell you. Get out, or I'm calling the cops.
I'd figured as much. I'm a spiritualist. I work for folks who think they have ghosts. I flip up my hood. With the appropriate ambience, I strike a much more intimidating character. The girl's face paled a little.
No kidding.
The hood is actually one I stole from the body of a serial killer. His psychic residue left it with an aura of violence that would invoke fear. It's a long story.
So what, I guess you don't have a natural aura of violence about you that you can't project on your own? So you have to steal a serial killer's hoodie for that? Still, I mean, even if it's not for that, like, why would you wear the hood of a freaking serial killer? Who knows what kind of bodily fluids, germs, and other kind of nasty things could have gone on that thing?
What more would you know?
Are they real?
Yes, but they're so rare, you will never encounter one in your entire life. It was a half-truth. She wouldn't. She didn't have the spiritual perception.
But apparently Jill does.
The lie lay in the rarity, as advertised by the clicking of the girl on the ceiling.
Oh.
Disappointment. Good. It shouldn't take much to push her towards boredom and a departure.
I think you are dead wrong, man. No pun intended.
She looks around the house, the disappointment slowly spreading to her face.
So there's no...
Why does she stop? I follow her gaze to the girl on the ceiling.
She can see that can't she?
The clicks grew louder.
So, Snippy, you still willing to answer his question about the black hair?
The ghost stood up in a violent convulsion.
Snippy, you okay?
Oh no. She could see it, and it hurt. All at once, it rushed her. claws sweeping wildly as its seizure-like movements brought it closer.
Those eyes, though. That's actually kind of unnerving.
Fear had taken the girl's voice. Should I kill it? No, it's harmless to almost everyone. There's only one thing to do. I roar.
Okay.
I feel my body start to crumble. I always feel like this when I roar. To tell the truth, I still don't even know what I'm really doing. But I can feel myself die, just a little. And let's just say when I actually die, I'm gonna be a handful of a haunt for my successor.
Probably will.
The girl on the ceiling stops in her tracks. A moment of pause and she retreats, sitting back above the TV where she had watched me earlier. I let out a breath as my soul snaps back into place. Behind me, I hear desperate gasping.
So, are you and Snippy familiar with each other? Do you and Snippy not have a good relationship, and thus why, upon seeing you, Snippy wanted to try and attack you?
Great, maybe a panic attack will scare her off. Slowly she raises her arm. I follow the finger. It's not pointing at the girl on the roof.
There's someone out there.
I turn to the glazed glass door. Pressed flush against the glass is a face without features and hands with fingers too long.
I bet those would come really handy in a tickle fight.
For the first time in years.
Or for poking out your
my
enemy's
blood
eyes.
runs cold. No.
What's wrong?
Beat me to it, neighbor girl.
Voice is still panicked.
Scream again! Make it go away!
I try to speak, but my voice catches in my throat as its hand glides smoothly to the doorknob, and the handle begins to turn.
I'm definitely going to assume this is not your average ghost.
I lunge to turn the deadbolt.
What's wrong? What is it?
Why can't I speak?
Scream again!
The handle stops rattling. The form steps away from the door, fading into obscurity of the frosted glass. No.
No, what?
She was in shock. It was a defense mechanism. I wish I could easily overcome my fear with it. We need to figure out a way to escape. I had grown complacent. Even the most violent specter I'd encountered as of late never actually threatened my life.
Why? Can't you deal with it? Why are you scared of it and not the woman with bladed hands?
That's the thing outside. I call it a slender. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's more than one even.
Slender? You call it a slender? Like Slender Man?
I nod, watching for movement outside the door. The last one. I wince just thinking about it. I've only ever met someone like me once. It killed them. It doesn't obey any of the rules.
What
In the
rules?
distance in the back of the house, I hear a rattle, and then a slow, deafening creak. She gasps, then stifles her breath. Silence falls as even the clicking stops.
It's inside. Oh god, it's here. Why did I come here?
Because you just couldn't afford to keep your nose clean?
The ghost on the ceiling scuttles away, hurrying up the incline above the stairs. I try to steady my breathing. Slowly, I lean over, peering around the corner, down the hallway to the back half of the house.
I have two suggestions. Either hide under the bed, the nearest bed that you can find, or jump out the nearest window and run.
As still as the grave, it stands, a silhouette in the hallway. Fuck. Should I move? Should I run?
What's the difference?
The decision is made for me as a hand closes around my own. The sight is gone as I feel myself tug backwards. I turn, following the girl from across the street up the stairs. Where are we going upstairs? There's nowhere to escape from there. It's too late to change my mind. Behind me, at the foot of the stairs, it stands, still as stone.
Run!
I flee, retreating to the safety of the master bedroom, locking the door.
What was I thinking? I should have just kept running. Why did I stop? Why did I think you would be different than anyone else?
Huh?
What?
I thought you were strong. I mean, you are strong, that's obvious. You were able to travel so far.
I just took a plane.
Jesus, you're that strong? You can keep up that level of manifestation long enough to fly on a plane?
Do you think he's a ghost or something?
What?
I mean, I can appear within 10 miles of where I died, compared to the boy that those creatures devoured.
So you too are a spooky ghost.
What are you talking about?
I've never met a ghost as strong as you.
I'm not dead. Abruptly, she stops in her tracks.
Are you kidding? How can you be so strong and not realize you're dead?
I'm not dead.
Look, it doesn't matter what you think, because in a moment that thing is going to come in here.
She grimaced, holding back tears.
And poke you in the eyes.
It's going to come in here and kill me again. I'm not ready for that. Dying once was bad enough.
Ah, so you two are familiar with each other. Did kill you by poking you in the eyes.
For a moment, the veneer fades and I see her, bloodied and bruised. She looked like she had been hit by a truck.
That must have been one hell of a poke.
You're a ghost? Splinters hit my shoulder.
Well, that's what he just said, genius.
I wheel around, finding my blade in motion, as fluid as only practice can provide. The creature fills the doorway, like a tombstone. And then it moves. Like oil sliding across a hot pan, the creature sidesteps me, ignoring me as if I were nothing more than a piece of furniture. It approaches the girl, and I hear her scream. I scream. Reality becomes a blur, and I bring around my blade.
Go for the leg.
The blade vibrates violently, but I feel something give. I feel it before I hear it. A scream like my own. I watch in confusion and horror as a seam tears open across its face. Then, I watch it tear apart, unhinging its jaw. It steps forward.
Parry.
It's upon me in a heartbeat. A single swing shattering my weapon and sending the world spinning. Only to lurch to a stop as I impact the cabinet door, shattering the wood. I see it lurch towards the girl, her spirit flickering.
Okay, that was clearly a bad move.
No! No. Not again!
I hear clicking and turn towards the corner of the closet.
Snippy!
Scissors had apparently found a place to hide. I hear a scream from outside the closet. Instinct guides my hand. I close fingers around the rags of the ghost, and with a heave, send her flying towards the slender. The creature swats her away, her blades raking its white flesh.
You got quiet, Tyrone.
I won't let you! The creature turns slowly, looking around as though confused. I step toward it, and each of my footsteps seems to burn the ground. The creature steps back, still silent as the grave.
I don't know what you're doing, Ty, but I think it's working.
I'm lost in what I'm doing. I reach out and simply touch the creature. Waves of light and color wash over the creature, pulse by pulse. The creature's color slowly shifts to match the world around it. And then, it's simply gone.
I think you colored it to death, Ty.
My breathing steadies, and the color fades. Eventually, the world turns pale, normalcy descending.
You be a person in mass destruction in a black and white world, I'm sure. Then again, maybe not, because there wouldn't be any colors, so to speak, in such a world anyway.
The creature is simply gone. What was that? I look down, opening and closing my fists.
Well, according to you, it's a Slendy.
There was nothing left of whatever I had done. Or the Slender, for that matter.
You meant your thing.
I look around the room, impossibly confused. No, seriously, what the fuck was that?
I don't know. Am I supposed to know?
It would be helpful if you did.
No. Damn, I hurt all over. Who are you anyway?
A victim of a long-fingered bastard called Slendy.
My name's Tulip.
Tulip? Brooks?
Yeah?
Then who? I turned to watch the scissor girl skitter away.
I don't know. She's been here since before I died.
I flopped back down, laying flat on the floor, and closed my eyes.
Well, it seems we've got ourselves a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
My parents' old house is just as I left it.
I wonder exactly how much upkeep Marcus has actually been doing.
Sibling?
Judging from the lawn, he's at least mowed it in the 4 years since I've seen him. Fuck, 4 years.
Had it really been that long since I had returned home?
Wow, you have a really nice place.
You're still following around, I see.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Your place. It's nice.
How are you here?
Spirits are tied to places they have strong emotional attachments to.
That and people? Oh no, don't tell me you're haunting me now.
Well, you could be haunted by Snippy. So, I mean, look on the bright side.
She doesn't reply, only blushing. Great, now I've got Sabrina the teenage ghost following me around.
Would you rather be Snippy?
I'm 26.
You died when you were 16, so you look 16 to me. Silence falls between us. Look, just stay out here until I've had a chance to talk with Marcus.
I approached the doorway with more than a fair degree of hesitation. What was I expecting?
A warm welcome.
Her words echo in my head.
How can you be so strong and not realize you're dead?
It wouldn't be the first time I had encountered a ghost who didn't know they were dead. They would block it out. Their death, their funeral. They would then avoid anything that will remind them of their death. Like their home. My eyes settle on the front door as it opens, and a larger man steps out. His shaggy, dirty blonde hair is cut the same length as when I last saw him, but his jaw is framed by a neatly trimmed beard. He's carrying a blue garbage bag. He only takes 2 steps from the door before he meets my eyes.
Tyrone?
Hello, Marcus.
Tyrone?
Yes, I think that's his name.
Tyrone?
Rule of 3, that is his name.
Tyrone?
You just simply can't believe your eyes, can you?
It had been a long time since I'd heard that name. It sounded almost alien.
Do you not hang around or talk to anybody who addresses you by your name, Ty?
Hey, Marcus.
Holy shit, you're alive! I mean, I kind of assumed you were. I hadn't been kicked out of your place by your next of kin yet. Man, it's so good to see you. I thought you were dead.
Why'd you think that?
Maybe because you've been gone for 4 fucking years? What the fuck have you been doing?
Work, mostly.
And watching Star Wars with ghosts.
I hope you're getting paid buku bucks if you're ignoring your friend for 4 years.
My thoughts trail to my less than impressive bank account. Not really.
What, did you join the military? Chicks dig boys in uniform. Is that how you picked up the chick?
What chick?
The chick that's been staying in your room for the last month? Showed up out of nowhere and just kind of waltzed in. She had a key or something. Not very talkative.
I don't bother to answer the question. I step past him, his face contorting in worry and confusion. I step inside and feel it immediately. The presence of a haunt.
Snippy, have you come to visit Ty's home?
I walk towards my room. The door is open, and she's sitting.
Yep. You definitely are a haunt. You have the black hair and everything.
Just reading. I don't recognize her, but she's clearly dead. The hair bleeding up the walls and tangling up towards the cow skull are dead giveaways.
Wait a minute. If you're dead, then how can Marcus see her?
Man, I'm sorry. Is she just some homeless chick that picked a lock or something?
Unless you can see the dead too, Marcus.
She seemed like she owned the place, so I assume you knew her. She said she was waiting for you, too.
Well, apparently, she had a normal-looking outward manifestation. I know for a fact she didn't die here. And she's been here for a month. She must be incredibly powerful.
Okay, man, your silence makes me think you might know her. But there's something awkward about your relationship you're not telling me, so I think I'll let you two talk.
Okay.
But if you fucking leave without talking to me about whatever the fuck you've been up to since you left, I swear I'm gonna kill you.
Don't. You'll unleash a ghost more powerful than even Cthulhu, than probably even Cthulhu could hope to stop.
Marcus walks away, closing the door behind him. It's kind of unfortunate. I don't have a moment to enjoy the fact that his threatening of my life confirmed that neighbor girl had been wrong. I was still alive. Unlike this girl.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's just as Tulip has been saying here. The fact here that this lady here who's been staying at your old house here for a month, the fact that Marcus can see her, and you admitting that, and you basically saying that she's incredibly powerful to appear to have a more normal manifestation for somebody like Marcus. I mean, to me, it looks like Tulip could still very well be right about you. Like, you could also be dead yourself, and you just don't know it. You yourself are living in denial of your own, well, not living, but, well, yeah. You could very well be in denial of your own death, too, and you two are just simply a powerful ghost like this girl that's inside this room here with you, and you just don't know it. So, the possibility of you being dead is still open in my book, Marky.
Who are you? Look,
Not Marky,
I know it's not the best
Tyrone.
question, but really, I'm a mess. I had been almost completely convinced that I was undead until a couple of seconds ago.
Tyrone. I had been expecting something more noteworthy for something like you.
Something?
I was expecting Damien, perhaps.
You should really consider answering one of my questions soon.
What? How can someone so powerful not know they are dead?
I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck and my forearms rise. No, I was alive.
The simple answer to that is that you're not dead. An anomaly, but not dead.
Like, what are you?
Unlike you, I am dead. I am dead, and I am happy to continue being so. I like being here. I don't want to leave.
Well, at least you're happy with your predicament, so I guess that's something.
Hey, this is my house.
Not your house. I mean, the material world. You see, I'm too strong to so easily fade, and I've been here a long time.
Then...
I'm more than strong enough to attract the attention of the gnolls. Yes, like the one you killed, or whatever you managed to do to it. Do you even know, by the way?
So that's what you call Slendy, huh? A null.
Yes, I can read thoughts. Sorry, I'll stop.
I glare.
My name is Ripley. I am a ghost.
She grins.
And I would like very much to stay that way.
So, you're a ghost? Or is she a ghost? Are you both ghosts?
Am I a ghost? Oh man, I knew that Chili had gone bad
swear I'll buy better Tupperware in the next life.
Oh my gosh, can I braid your hair?
I hope they do have good Tupperware in the next life. Okay, so that is our third story, Perceptions of the Dead. Although I'm curious to know what would happen if I chose a few of the decisions that the third story presented me differently. So I'm going to check those out real quick. Alright, let's try ignoring you this time.
I actually try my best to tune her out. It looks like I missed the part where Greedo actually got shot. That was the whole point of pirating the original. I look for the remote to rewind. Before I have a chance to find it, a knock comes from the door. I swear to... Someone called the cops on me again. I'm gonna give them a goddamn reason to. I'm not an effing squatter. I was hired to be here.
Okay, this is starting to look the
I freed
same.
myself from the
Let's lie this time.
The owners reported some odd noises. Creaking, groaning, rattling. The kind of noises you don't want to be hearing in a newly renovated home. The thing is, their contractors haven't been able to identify the source or even replicate the issue when on site. I do construction. I'm in between jobs right now, so they're hiring me to stay here until the issue occurs and use my expertise to identify and resolve the problem. That sounded pretty believable, not to mention oddly close to the truth. It'd have been enough for the police both times before, after all. Well, that and a Skype chat with the actual owners.
That makes sense. So, what, you're sleeping on the floor waiting for the noises they were reporting?
I don't have to sleep on the floor, considering it's fully furnished.
You don't think it could be the ghost that's rumored to haunt this place?
I force a snicker, and she immediately flushes. Yeah, I'm not the superstitious type. Everyone knows ghosts aren't real.
Yeah, this is all starting to look the same too. Let's aim for your head this time.
It shatters harmlessly against the white flesh, as though it were glass dashed against a rock. I watch in confusion and horror as a seam tears open across its face. Then, I watch it tear apart, unhinging its jaw. It lunges forward, and in a single moment, she is gone. Her scream cut short in a violent swallow. No! No. Not again. I won't let you!
So, it's just like the first story. None of the different choices that they give you really matter. They don't really impact the story. Or at least not much at all. I mean, in fact, although, actually, the last choice that you make in the first story of Jill Count was pretty much the only thing that really impacted the story in any significant way. Otherwise, it's just like, well, honestly, I mean, in the case of Perceptions of the Dead, the choices that they offered here were just so minimal and so, well, lacking an influence over how the whole thing. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I've already made my point. It's just the choices are so inconsequential. They might as well just not offer them at all, really. So, yeah, I guess this is Perceptions of the Dead. Yeah, I definitely think I consider this. I was right on the money in regarding to my prediction on where I was going to place the last story on my list of favorites among the three. I definitely consider it my second favorite, while the Phantom Ice Cream Truck is my least favorite of the whole bunch. So yeah, Jill Count, you are the winner. None of the other two stories could compete to you. But yeah, I definitely think here that Jill's story was definitely the best here. It had the most interesting story, the most the most fun characters. I mean, Tyrone is interesting and all that here, but there's not really a whole lot that I got to really know about him to where I could really understand like how he came to essentially be the spiritual detective that he is. Jill, on the other hand, is simple. She was just an ordinary girl that just basically does streams and all that here as a hobby / for a living. Until she just basically got into a situation that she was well over her head in, and well, her entire life changed as a result of that. But Tyrone, I don't know. It doesn't really. I feel like there could have been more about him that we could have learned about here that would have made the small amounts of intrigue that I felt towards him even greater. But well, obviously we didn't really get to explore him and his backstory much at all. So it is what it is. But still, I mean, for what this game is and the 3 stories it offered, I mean, I enjoyed them for what they were. Again, I do prefer some more than others here for different reasons, but yeah, I definitely don't regret checking out this game. I'm probably thinking of checking the developer on Steam and seeing what other stuff they've worked on that might look interesting to me. So, who knows? I might end up covering I might end up covering more of their games in the future if they have anything else here that I may want to consider trying. So, yeah, I guess that's it. This has been Perceptions of the Dead. I hope that you enjoyed this 2-part series, or at least this video if you only checked out this one. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next time. Take care.